Hello and welcome to continuing coverage of the California Regionals. It's the best against the best as section champs have been crowned and are now getting the chance to prove that they're the best in the state. Tonight, we find out who flies above the rest as the Granite Hills Eagles host the Etiwanda Eagles in the SoCal Regional Division 2A championship game. Etiwanda overcame a 26-point second-half deficit to win the D5 Southern Section Championship game. And before we continue, we will get the national anthem.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed.
High school.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And a beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Granite Hills won the toss. They deferred, and Etiwanda will receive the kick. Both these teams can score in bunches. Etiwanda, as I mentioned earlier, was chasing 26 points in the second half, overcame that deficit to win their first section title since 1990, and the Granite Hills Eagles won their first section title in the 60-year history of Granite Hills. They beat a good Ramona team 48-12 in the championship game. They ran wild with over 300 yards on the night. Jared, you caught that game with me. What did you think of that performance?
That was a fantastic performance there by Granite Hills. They ran into an upstart Ramona team that just had a few injuries, and Granite Hill took advantage of that and came out to a big win. They ran the ball. They passed the ball. They had big runs from the likes of Isaiah Jackson as well as number 20, Zach Darling and Maxwell Turner. So they have a lot of skill players at the running back position as well as quarterback and wide receiver. And you have Etiwanda coming in. They can pass the ball. They can run the ball just as well. So this should be a high-scoring, fun matchup to watch for this 2A championship game, Bo.
Etiwanda averages 27 points per game. Granite Hills averages 40. The captains for Granite Hills in tonight's matchup, Davion Green, the cornerbacks, senior secondary, Easton Peterson, and Eric Delgado, as well as Zach Darling, the senior starting running back. And on the other side, it's Demar Davis, Michael Harrison, and the captain, Jacob Reinhold. And the squib kick to start the game. And Granite Hills is going to start the game with the first turnover on the first play of the game.
Well, both teams are just so pumped up when they came in, and Granite Hills squibbed, kicked the ball, and they were able to recover it. And that's a huge momentum burst without even 1 second coming off the clock. So they're going to start with the ball in their own territory.
Wow. The first gut punch from Granite Hills to Etiwanda. Their first possession starts at the Etiwanda 40 as Parlon Sanders will come on. Complete 60% of his passes, but he's a dual-threat quarterback as he hands it off to Turner. Max Turner had an exceptional game with limited carries last year, so they get him going early. Had 4 carries for 53 yards and 2 scores. They love this split back set with 3 receivers to the left. Jackson off the right side will try to bounce it. but a great tackle near the line of scrimmage. Matthew Vasquez, their leading tackler, with 92 tackles on the season, is second on the team with 3 sacks. He adds a lot of disruption in the backfield for Etiwanda. Third and short. They'll hand it off to Turner again off the left side. And very little running room on that third and short. Looks like he got half of what he needed, bringing up a 4th and inches as they bring in the big boys.
Well, as you can see, they're moving quick. They run a play every 12 seconds on average, so we barely even have time to talk about the play set up. So they're moving. They want to put the pressure on the defense, and that's what they're going to do here on this big 4th and 1 down play here.
And the running back will take the direct snap. That's Isaiah Jackson. Did he get there? It looks like he got just enough. He needed to get to the 30, and it looks like he got to the 29 and a half for a Granite Hills first down. Granite Hills runs the ball about 66% of the time. They ran it on their first 3 plays. 41 rushing touchdowns. They average 7 yards per pop. 234 yards per game on the ground. Parlon Sanders has his running back in motion. He'll do a quick toss to Jackson, and that play is blown up in the backfield. Number 1, Josiah Wash, the senior corner. He's 3rd on the team in tackles, so he likes to get his nose dirty, and a big loss for Granite Hills.
This Eagles team is still coming out fired up for Etiwanda. No, they didn't recover the kick here, but this defense is playing tough. They were a 4th down on the first set of plays there, and then a big loss on first down the second set of plays here. So great tackle by Etiwanda in the open field.
A loss of 9. Quick hit from Sanders near side. Has the edge, gets inside the 25. That's Zach Darling. He had 6 carries for a $133 and a couple scores against Ramona in that Division II San Diego Section Championship game. Gets past the first down marker, bringing up a 3rd and 8. Darling with the handoff inside the 10, and he'll get in easily for the first touchdown of the game, and that goes to Granite Hills.
Well, it looks just like last week. The first touchdown of the week was a long run by Zach Darling versus Ramona, and he does it again. A big play to the outside, gets it for a 3rd and short, and he breaks through for the touchdown to give Granite Hills a big first lead, 6-0. Fantastic run by Darling.
Nice little bit of trickery right there by the offense of Granite Hills. Gave the handoff to Darling around the hip. And that extra point is good. Granite up with the early lead after the 28-yard touchdown by Zach Darling. With 9:29 remaining in the first quarter. Stay with us here on the NFHS Network. And back with you for the SoCal Regional 2A Championship game. We're coming to you from Granite Hills High School in El Cajon, California. Granite Hills, another pooch. First one was successful. This one not so much. Etiwanda in at the 35. Gets to the edge. Still stays on his feet, but ran out of bounds. That was Wash, who gets to the Etiwanda 47, 48-yard line. And the Eagles will start their first offensive possession there.
They were definitely ready for that one. They had their hands team out there. They were not letting anything go by or anything trick. They want the ball. You have this amazing offense coming out here, which we're going to get into, but great first drive for Granite Hill. We'll see how the Eagles of Etiwanda respond.
Junior quarterback setting at 6'4", 185 pounds, DeMar Davis. Completed his final 11 passes in that 26-point comeback, was 18 for 20 for 267 in the second half. And also threw for 448, a career high for him. He'll do a quick RPO, and the quick hit outside falls incomplete. The intended receiver, number 8, Jaden Landrum, who we're going to talk about a lot today. The junior standing at 6'4", 215 pounds, a nice frame on the outside. Leads the team with 87 receptions for under 1,200 yards. Landrum is a tall receiver. They have tall receivers on the outside. Kyle Cherry stands at 6'3". Miles Tarkenton, the sophomore, stands at 6'3" as well. And this ball right through the hands of a defender, thrown right to him. a great job by Daniel Neto staying in that passing lane. He couldn't have been much easier for Neto.
Oh, that was a really easy one right there. Last week versus Ramona, they knocked out Colin Lester, their starting quarterback, and faced off against Dylan Day, and that was huge for them. They were able to take control of the junior quarterback there. And this week's going to be a little bit more tough with DeMar Davis out there. He's one of the best in the state, if not the country.
Granite Hill's going to bring a 3-2-6 nickel defense. Davis tries to get to his left, and nobody open. The good defensive effort by Granite Hills. And Etiwanda goes 3 and out on their first offensive possession.
Yeah, Granite Hills defense, they just have playmakers all over the place that are able to lead them out there. The coverage was sound. Davis looked for his guys, just wasn't able to get him. You can see he had some whip on the ball, but just wasn't able to get through to the wide receiver. So their first punt, only 9-11 into the first quarter.
Ludovico, who has a leg on him. Peterson back to receive for Granite Hills with his heels on the 20. The fair catch brought in at the 22. And that's where Granite Hills will start their second offensive possession. They scored on their first. Can they do on the second? Find out on the other side of the break here on the NFHS Network. .906 still remaining in the first quarter. This is the second offensive possession for Granite Hills. After Etiwanda went 3 and out, and Jackson has a lane. He has one player to beat. Can he get the angle? Wash gets to him. But another chunk play on the ground, this time from Isaiah Jackson, the sophomore.
Yeah, he's so great. Last week for Ramona, he had 10 for 113. He has 11 touchdowns on the year, 123 for 788. So he's just got such speed. And look, they're getting right up to the line for that 12-second average per play.
Tomasello back under snap in shotgun formation. Turner again, this time off the left side, gets inside the 20 and will be brought down at the 16. So as we saw in that San Diego section championship game, Granite Hills getting big gains on the ground. Fake handoff, the ball to the end zone. And that ball thrown out of bounds by Tomasello will bring up a 3rd and 6. Tomasello on the season completes about 60% of his passes. Eclipsed 1,000 yards on the season in last week's game when he threw for 92 yards, 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions on the season. He's more of your pure passing pocket quarterback, stands tall in the pocket, about 6'4". Tomasello looks to have quick hit to the right, well defended by Wash as he almost came up with that interception. Read the blockers coming out nicely, and he attacked a receiver. Almost went up with an amazing one-handed grab. And the field goal team will come on for Granite Hills.
That was a really great job by the Etiwanda defense. They gave up the long run, and then they clamped down and only let up 5 yards to give up a field goal chance. So if they can hold them to 3 or maybe less, it's a lot more difficult to kick at the high school level. That'd be a big win for this Etiwanda defense.
Be a 33-yard field goal attempt for Robert Petrich.
And Petrich on to kick a 33-yard field goal for Granite Hills. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is no good. Wide left by Petrich. We'll see how Etiwanda uses that momentum with 8:05 still remaining in the first quarter. So really the first miscue by Granite Hills in the first 4 minutes of this game, Jared.
Yeah, they got into it. Huge run by Isaiah Jackson to bring it out of their own territory. The field position definitely is still flipped. About 80 yards to go for Etiwanda, but the defense held up, and they got the ball back on a missed field goal, so with a chance to tie with a touchdown.
Davis back onto the field for his second offensive possession. Davis to the left, a quick hit. And Granite Hills quickly to the ball. They do a great job in getting to the ball quickly, not allowing a lot of yards after the catch. Landrum caught the ball 5 yards on the other side of the first down marker and was tackled 4 yards on the other side of that first down marker to bring up a 2nd and 6.
You're going to see a lot of number 8, Derek Ibarra. He said this defense has a chip on the shoulder when San Diego moved to the D2. Even after they beat Helix, who's in the D1, they feel like they should have been higher, or even the open division right there. But they're going to show and try to win this D2A championship here.
Two receivers to the right of Davis. Single side receiver at the top of your screen. They'll go that way, the quick hit. And that's Landrum again, gets chased out of bounds for a gain of 4. Another short gain, bringing up a 3rd and short. Coming up on 7 minutes here in the first quarter.
Picks up 2 yards to bring up 3rd down and 5.
Landrum has been Davis's top target throughout the season. Stands at 6'4", nice frame at 215. Then also near side, Kyle Cherry, the outside receiver. And inside of him, wearing number 13, is Robert Padilla. 3 receivers to the right. Davis looks over the middle for the screen pass, overthrew his intended receiver, and that's an interception for Granite Hills. Daniel Neto in the right place at the right time.
You can just see this defense is ball hawking. They're pressuring Davis behind the line, so he's been able to make some quicker throws that maybe he's not quite as used to. This offense is just so good at passing. They just have not looked very crisp on the first 2 drives. And even kind of like last week in their game versus St. Francis, they were down 35-9. So maybe they got to get a little more action going and get into this game. But Granite Hills has come out hot and has another big chance to go up by more than 7.
Granite Hills averages 3 sacks per game. They had 4 sacks last week against Ramona. A way to neutralize that is by running the screen. And it was well set up. Just Davis overthrew the running back, and Neto was right there. And we have our first timeout of the game. That's Granite Hills first.
Remember to check out Snack Bar. Also, Taco Card. We have both snack bars open, visitors and home.
And with 6:42 remaining in the first quarter, hello and welcome everyone to the NFHS Network. I'm Bo Furtick, alongside my partner Jared Nelson, bringing you today's SoCal Regional 2A Section Championship game, or regional game that is. This is Parlon Sanders back under snap. He'll run it up the middle. No whistle has blown. Delayed whistle, and looks like he picked up an extra 1 or 2 by keeping his legs moving. This is Granite Hills' second offensive possession inside Etiwanda territory, but their 3rd overall possession. The 2 that started in Etiwanda territory, one was off of a pooch kick recovery, and this possession right here off of an interception by Daniel Neto. 2nd and short. Zach Darling in the backfield. Darling will get the handoff and is met near the line of scrimmage for no gain.
That was a beautiful tackle right there. Sanders had to come out, number 4, the quarterback, because he lost his helmet, and Tomasello came in just with the handoff. So the big 3rd down and about 3 coming up here. We'll see which the Granite Hills Eagles can do versus the Etiwanda Eagles on their defense.
Samuel DeBose up front with the tackle. Empty formation, quick hit near side. That's Darling, makes the first defender miss. Stiff arm on the second and gets inside the 10 for an Eagles first down.
Yeah, we saw this last week. Darling was running all over the place for Ramona. He's such a dual threat to pick up the pass or run it for a big play. And now we got 1st and goal inside the 10.
The 3-headed monster of Jackson, Darling, and Turner. All 3 have already made an impact in this one. Parlon Sanders fakes the pass, tries to just get back to the line of scrimmage, and it looks like he does for no gain. Well defended on the outside by Etiwanda. They're playing press coverage on the outside, not allowing any easy bubble screens or quick passes like the swing passes we've seen here today.
Yeah, it's kind of like fire and lane. Isaiah Jackson's a 5'8" sophomore. Maxwell Turner, 5'8" sophomore. But you have Darling, 6'1" senior, 193, a little more size.
Turner's going to get it on this one. Makes that cut, makes the first defender miss. And once again, that offensive line pushing the pile forward. Gets to the 5. And it looks like we have an equipment malfunction. Samuel DeBose coming off. And checking in for him is number 56, Cisneros Christian. Under 5 minutes and counting. here at Granite Hills High School. 3rd and goal at the Granite Hills 5, or at the Etiwanda 5. Sanders will roll right. Has a player over the middle in the end zone. And touchdown Granite Hills. Colin Riley, the senior wide receiver, with the 5-yard touchdown reception, giving Granite Hills a 13-0 lead.
It was really hard to see that, but Colin Riley was able to come with a grab. That's his 8th touchdown on the year. He maybe was looking for another player in the back, but Riley came in front, made the diving play, and got the touchdown to give the Granite Hills Eagles a big 13-0 touchdown with the extra point oncoming.
Granite Hills scored 48 points last week. 6 came on the ground, 1 on a pick 6.
And it's good.
And Petrich is good on his extra point, giving Granite Hills a 14-0 lead. Etiwanda has been in a similar position. Can they overcome a 14-0 deficit here in the first? We'll find out on the other side of the break. It's been all Granite Hills in the first 7.5 minutes of this ball game as they lead Etiwanda 14-0. Another pooch kit at the 34. The returner will bring it across field, cut up the middle, and will get tackled near the 40. That was Cherry on the return of 6. And it looks like he didn't quite make it to the 40. They'll mark it at the 39.
We haven't really had a chance to talk about Etiwanda. This is our first section championship since 1990, so over 30 years after a fantastic game, improbable win 45-42 over St. Francis. They, as you said, they're down 35-9 with 8:18 to go. And then start the fourth quarter. Moss with a huge touchdown to get them back in it.
And this play is blown up in the backfield. Moss gets tackled for a loss. And this Granite Hills defense, we saw it last week. They fly around, Jared.
Yeah, you have to watch out for Moss, though. They're looking for him. He had 715 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns on the year. So he knows how to find the hole. He's got to find his seam, maybe work on this defensive line. But Granite Hills is coming out super strong here to start on defense.
And another handoff, this time off the right side. This is Moss, has some room. Gets across the 45. And nice open field tackle right there by Easton Preston and Derek Ibarra.
That's still a good run. You know, it's going to be 3rd and short instead of 3rd and long like the last couple of drives with the passes and not getting any big catches. So you can do anything. You can run here. If you're Davis, you can pass. There's a lot of options that Etiwanda has on offense.
2 receivers to the top of your screen. They got Biggs in, and they will run it for the 3rd time in a row. And it looks like they're going to be, it's going to be close. Looks like the running back got just enough for the first down. And that is Etiwanda's first down of the game. Coming up on the 3-minute mark here in the first quarter. As Jameer McDowell checks in for the first time today. He led all receivers with 2 touchdowns last week. Empty set. Davis with 3 receivers to the left. Davis looks left, throws off his back foot, overthrows his receiver, and another interception by Granite Hills, but there is a flag in the secondary where that ball was intercepted. The pressure up the middle had Davis throwing off his back foot, and it looks like a pass interference on Granite Hills.
That's a huge break there for Davis. He just kind of threw it up there, and the Granite Hills defender was able to get it. But what a break there.
15-yard penalty will bring up a first down for Etiwanda, much needed, as they didn't want to give the ball back to Granite Hills. Etiwanda hasn't been able to really slow down Granite Hills. I mean, they did settle for 1 field goal that they missed. It could be 17-0.
And that was after a big run, too, Bo.
Yeah, but fortunately, they're only chasing 2 scores, and they could cut this deficit in half with a touchdown. This is the deepest they've gotten in Granite Hills territory. And the hand up the middle. Tries to bounce it off the left side. But Granite Hills defense is too much. Another tackle for loss.
Yeah, McDowell, who's the runner on that play. Really big-time stats this year, too. 316-yard rushing, so they can hand it off to him. They can hand it off to Moss. But it was just kind of a bad handoff right there. And the Granite Hills defense was able to key in. And even if he decided to hold and pass, they had pressure coming right up the middle there.
They use McDowell in a variety of ways. Last game, he had 9 carries for 37 yards. He also added 5 receptions for 44 yards and a couple scores. So McDowell, more of a scat back, a good athlete. To the left, to the right. Davis looks to the right, has a receiver at the 30, and Joaquin Thomas brings him down as soon as the ball is caught. That was number 13, Robert Padilla, his first reception of the game. Joaquin Thomas Jr. had that pick 6 last week, Jared.
Yeah, if you give Davis that much time, he's going to find some. You know it was a 7-yard, 8-yard gain. You give him time, one of these wide receivers is going to get open. But very nice open field tackle by Granite Hill. But another 3rd and short here for Etiwanda. They really need to convert on this.
McDowell stays in the backfield, the single-side receiver to the bottom of your screen. That's Tarkington. 3 to the left of Davis. He'll hand it off to McDowell. Has a little running room, crosses the first down marker, and picks up a couple more. Looks like he'll be brought down near the 22 for another Etiwanda first down. So opening the running game up a little bit is Etiwanda after Davis is looking a little shaky here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're going to expect Moss to be doing the big handling, but like you said, McDowell back there is able to find the hole, break through. Much like Granite Hills, they have a couple smaller guys that can trick the defense, and he was able to pick up the first down, and it's the first scoring opportunity here for Etiwanda.
Yeah, we talked about multiple receivers on the outside standing above 6'2". Their running backs, 5'8" and 5'7", but they are quick. This is Moss in the backfield to the right hip pocket of Davis. Looks over the middle, double covered, and White off the edge brings down Davis. But it looks like he got face mask along with it. We saw him do that last week as well, Jared. Sometimes his hands just gets a little too excited. Obviously, he wants to get his hands up to make a difficult pass for Davis. But when you bring those hands down, it can catch the face mask, and it looks like White, who had an exceptional play off the edge, is going to get called for a personal foul face mask.
And you just can't give Etiwanda these penalties here. Davis is going to convert. Maybe a little shaky first quarter, but he is so good. He was down, but the defense just kind of gave him another penalty there, and you can hear the crowd is really upset about that, but it was the right call. He got off his feet and kind of bopped him right in the head. You got to protect the quarterbacks here. So right call, tough for the Granite Hills Eagles, but Etiwanda really has to convert here.
So 2 big defensive plays go null and void due to penalties. The interception was taken away by the defensive pass interference, and that big sack taken away by a face mask. Quick hit to the left, almost intercepted. Landrum spins off that first defender. Looks like he'll get inside the 5. 10 seconds. Are they going to try to get it up on the ball quickly and try to run a play? And they're bringing fresh faces on, so they won't get it off in time. That will end an exciting first quarter here at Granite Hills High School. Granite Hills 14, Etiwanda 0 here on the NFHS Network. And both teams will flip sides as Etiwanda gets inside the 5 to start the second quarter and crack the scoreboard. But they've been fortunate on this drive with big plays being reversed due to penalties. They're looking to cut this deficit in half. And Moss is hit in the backfield again. Wow, this Granite Hills defense flies off the ball.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to be hearing a lot from Derek Ibarra there. Huge tackle. He broke through the offensive line and got a big stop for a loss there.
Ibarra second on the team with more than 90 tackles and leads the team in tackles for loss, and you saw him right there. He's a disruptor in the backfield, also leads the team with 8 sacks. We have an equipment malfunction.
They're all coming out of their helmets today, Bo. They're so excited. There's a bunch of players that have been coming out of their helmets.
2nd and goal from the 10. Moss in the backfield. Pistol formation, Landrum, the single side receiver, to the right of Davis. They're going to hand it off to Moss. Off the right side, followed that lead blocker, but still not a lot of running room. This is most likely 4-down territory as Moss gets to the 5.
Yeah, you can do anything here. The national average for passing is 1127. Etiwanda has thrown for over 3,200 yards on the season, and their rate of average is 1,400 yards, so you really can go any way. Davis is such a good quarterback. He has all sorts of options here. You definitely want to score here. Coming in the second quarter, be down 14-0. They had a lot of magic last week for St. Francis, but you can't afford to get down anymore.
They don't want to dig themselves another big hole like that and try to get out of it. Davis is 7th in passing yards in the southern section. McDowell to the left hip pocket of Davis. He'll roll that way. White off the edge. Davis gets away from him, but Granite Hills once again with the pressure.
You had to be careful. Another defender went up in the air, but he didn't grab the face mask there. So that's the first big play that on this drive that they get turned around by a penalty.
Demarion White, the junior, standing at 6'3", 215. Some will say he's the best defender on this Granite Hills team.
One of the best defenders in all of San Diego, I would have to say. Is Granite Hills right now is the 5th ranked team in San Diego, and they sure look like they're one of the better teams coming out of this section.
He puts his hand in the ground off the end and gets after the quarterback. This is Justin Ludovico from 30 yards. Kick is up, and kick is no good. Ludovico wide left. That's 2 field goals to this end of the end zone, and both go wide left.
That looked pretty good off the foot, but it just wasn't able to come in. Now is a big time for Etiwanda defense. They cannot afford to lose anymore.
That offense finally started gaining some type of momentum, and you're looking to carry that momentum through some points on the board, give some juice to your defense as well, who's kind of been on their heels. And a missed field goal by a kicker that is about as clutch as it gets in the southern section.
Yeah, they won the D5 here out of the baseline with teams like Rancho Cucamonga, Upland, and Damien. But Granite Hills is one of the better teams here they've seen all season.
Tomasello back in. This is Turner on the run. He gets a gain of 5. Half of what he needed for the first down, bringing a 2nd and 5. 2 receivers to the right of Tomasello. Make that 3 receivers. Single side receiver to the top of your screen. Looks like Etiwanda staying in the man-to-man defense. 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Turner stays in the backfield. Turner will get it again and gets driven backwards. Once again, Matthew Vasquez, the junior middle linebacker, standing at 215. Had 7 tackles last week against St. Francis. Leads the team with 95 tackles on the season. 3rd and 5. 3 receivers to the right of Tomasello. They'll check at the line. See what Coach Cobbs has drawn up. The Granite Hills alum of 2005.
I was just about to say that. You're reading my mind here, Bo.
Wouldn't be the first time. And a timeout by Cobbs. Didn't like what he saw. We'll take a quick break here as well here on the NFHS Network. Granite Hills will come back trotting out on offense, looking to convert a 3rd and 5. So far, they've been good in these situations, Jared.
Yeah, this is such a huge play. You want to get the Etiwanda offense right back on the field. You need the ball in Davis's hand. He had a good drive last time, but just kind of stalled there at the end, and they missed the field goal. But they did have a scoring opportunity. So if any time to come up with a play so far in this game, the defense needs it here.
Tomasello along with Turner in the backfield. Tomasello would look left initially. Has a player over the top. Was there a flag? And a late flag. Etiwanda's running man-to-man across the board. And Joaquin Thomas Jr. ran a double move and the defender couldn't hang with him.
You could just kind of see he sold it. He definitely had his hands on it, but he sold it a little bit there, coming up offline. It could almost be like in the NFL, like in the first 5 yards, it's a holding, but they're going to give it a pass interference at the end. But probably the right call for some kind of penalty right there. But that is a huge call. Again, both defenses having some trouble with the penalty so far today.
The intended receiver was Green on that, and no safety over the top. They really trying to take advantage of that press coverage.
Yeah, Chauncey Davis, the cornerback, number 12, 57 tackles on the year. So he's a great defender for there, but he just got his hands a little bit too much on Green.
Davis had 2 interceptions on the season, one last week against St. Francis. And Jackson keeps his feet moving and is eventually twirled down. A short gain of 3.
You can just see what Coach Cobbs is doing here. He had Darling running all over the place in the first quarter. Now he's going to his other guys here too, so just keep him fresh.
2 receivers are left to the right of Tomasello. He'll fake the run. There's a wheel route down the sideline, and you can see a little miscommunication right there. Tomasello thought Green was going to ride up the sideline, but Green saw that corner had that outside shade, so he tried to get inside of him. Green actually had the right look.
Yep.
He had him beat, but Tomasello had to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, if he was able to change that pass a little inside, that was 6 the other way for sure.
Same formation, double-doubles. Looks like Etiwanda staying in that man-to-man formation. He'll look right and throws that one away. Great coverage, near side once again. That was Chauncey Davis on the coverage.
Big-time stop there for Etiwanda. You can't let this momentum going with only 7:56 left in the second quarter. Kind of a wobbly pass. They went to the green pretty much all 3 times there, even on the pass interference. So they switch it up from the running. Coach Cobbs might want to go back to that on the next drive there because nothing really came of that. But they can switch a field position here with a nice punt.
Under 8 minutes remaining. Joaquin Thomas in the kick for the Eagles. The line drive kick will bounce at the 25, the one hop, and is tripped up, crossing the 25. That's where the Eagles will get their next offensive possession.
That was a fantastic play right there by number 21, Jordan Glaze. He just kind of got him by the ankles there, and he was able to bring him down because that could have been a big return there if he could have got by Glaze.
Glaze leads the team with more than 100 tackles on the season. Just one of those guys that's everywhere on the field. They move him up near the line of scrimmage, and he's also a good coverage safety.
He's just so strong in his arm. He can bring you down with even one hand there.
Player in motion. He'll get it. That's McDowell off the right side. And once again, very little running room for no gain. Eagles front 3 is doing a great job in controlling that line of scrimmage. Once again, it's Derek Ibarra on the tackle.
Yeah, you have to watch out for Ibarra and Glaze. They are definitely ball hawks. They know right where the ball is. They have great skills and knowledge of where the ball is going. So they've had huge tackles all season, and they're showing why they've led this team all season.
They're athletic, hard-hitting, and versatile. A lot of players playing a lot of different positions because they're intelligent, athletic, and they just know football really well. And you could see Etiwanda trying to establish a run game a little bit more as this game goes on in the first half.
Yeah, the versatile, like I was trying to say, defensive awareness. They know where the ball is. If it's a screen, they know where to go. If it's a pass, they know where to go. So far, so good for those 2 guys and the rest of their defense. On the
Third
Eagles.
and short, pistol formation. And Moshi couldn't lay off the snap.
There's definitely been some big penalties by Granite Hills that have allowed these drives to continue.
So that first down brings the ball to the 39. Keeps the drive alive off of another penalty by Granite Hills defense. Pistol formation, 2 receivers to the left of Davis. Landrum, the slot receiver, near side. And miscommunication from Davis to the running back. Davis will run off the left side and fall forward for a gain of 3 or 4.
That's not necessarily what he wants to do. He wants to sling the ball around. Davis is one of the better players in the state, as you said. In the southern section, to be that high up the list with some of those big schools, he is outstanding, and he's only a junior. He's had some unofficial visits to Utah and Colorado, so as a junior, there's already schools looking at him, so he's a big-time player for Etiwanda.
3 receivers to the right of Davis. Landrum, the closest one to the gunslinger. Davis looks left, single side receiver, that quick out route. That's Tarkington on the reception. Brings it in at the 49. It's going to be close to a first down. He needed the 49 and got the 49. First down, Etiwanda.
You could just see he's so crisp. He can use his height to throw the ball over the defender's offensive line. 6'4", prototypical quarterback right there, and especially a junior. He's still growing and learning.
Miles Tarkington, sophomore, stands at 6'3", and
not sure what the chain gang is doing over there.
Well, what happened is they initially gave him the first down because they said he reached the 49, but now they're saying he did not reach the 49. So it's going to bring up a 4th and inches for Etiwanda.
Third down. That's what,
Check that,
that's
third
what
down.
That's what we thought up
Third
here
and
in the
inches.
booth.
Third down and inches for Etiwanda.
Granite Hills in that 3-3-5 defense. Moshi, the defensive tackle, and White coming off the edge on the right side. Granite Hills plugs the hole so well in that 3-3-5 defense, and they'll give up a couple yards for an Etiwanda first down as they get in the Granite Hills territory.
Yeah, that offensive line just got a great push right there. Now he just had to find the hole and made it for an easy first down to bring it into enemy territory.
First and 10 Etiwanda, the Eagle 48-yard line.
Jaden Moss in to the right hip pocket of Davis. Tarkington, your single side receiver, to the left of Davis. Granite Hills will bring the pressure off the edge. Davis over the middle in double coverage, overthrows his receiver and is intercepted again. This is number 13. Can he take it all the way? And he is tackled at midfield. Nicoy Maddox, the strong safety, with the interception.
That ball looks so beautiful, too. It was a perfect spot. He just kind of underthrew it there, and Maddox was tracking it the whole way, and that's a huge interception when Etiwanda was finally moving up the ball up the field after a nice first down right there. And Granite Hills on the move again.
That was well defended by Granite Hills. They had bracketed that receiver with a corner running under him, allowing and knowing that he had safety help over the top.
He was close, Bo, almost to taking that back there, too. That was nice tackle by some of the offensive linemen there.
Maddox returns it to midfield. This is Parlon Sanders, fakes the pass, and he'll pick up 4. Gets into Etiwanda territory on the first down run. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, Coach Cobb's definitely going to go for the running there with Parlon Sanders. That has been working. They've been able to break through this Etiwanda defensive line with ease so far today.
And they would love to chew off as much time as possible, not allowing this high, potent offense of Etiwanda to get back on the field with a lot of time left. Darling off the left side, gets to the edge, gets by his first defender, and is ran out of bounds inside the 35 for another Granite Hills first down.
The offensive line's done such a great job on these runs by Darling. He's been able to get outside on a few and on a couple on a pass, too, to pick up big gains so far today. So great job to get outside and great blocking by the offensive line.
Rowdy Williams, the junior, standing at 6'4", 270. Ethan Warner, 6 foot 255. Center Nick Morocquin, 5'11", 205. Eric Delgado, 6'6", 315. And Alejandro Tejeda, who they call Blue, 6 foot 315. Big boys up front. This is Darling, picks up a couple. But we talked about the size of Granite Hills, but they're just as athletic as well.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the most athletic in all of San Diego. I've seen Lincoln, I've seen Carlsbad. I feel like Granite Hills could play with them, play any of these big boys that are out there, and they're showing why you put us in Division II, but we're going to take a shot at winning a whole thing here in the States, or in the state.
Turner checks in, replaces Darling, the empty set. Parlon Sanders will take it himself.
Direct snap. He's gonna get stacked
And
up.
leading the way on defense was Samuel DeBose, the senior DN, standing at 6'2", 225.
It's gonna be a 5-yard, about a 4 or 5-yard pickup on a play.
Definitely don't want to try to get wrapped up by him. He's going to take you down. And Parlon Sanders is pretty small compared to him. They still are going to give him a couple yards gain on that. Even though it looked like a bad play, they picked up a couple there.
Sanders stands at 5'10", about a $150, $155. Third and short, Turner in the backfield, fake to him. Ooh, and that pass almost went the other way. That's the second time we've seen Josiah Wash jump that pass. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see later pump and go, something along the lines of that, because Wash is moving off of that first hitch. He is jumping that pass quickly. A double move. We saw a double move already result into a defensive pass interference. Sanders stays on the pitch along with Zach Darling. 3 receivers to the right of Sanders. 4th down. And another draw. Darling again eludes the couple defenders and gets inside the 20. That's the second time we've seen that handoff. And it fools the defense once again.
Yeah, Darling, can't say enough about him so far in this first half. He's been driving this offense. He got around the defense, got around Wash, and he picked up another big first down on 4th and 5.
Huge 4th down conversion for multiple reasons. 1, it keeps the ball with Granite Hills. And 2, they are chewing the clock off here in the first half. Darling again has nothing but space in front of him, and he'll score his 2nd touchdown of the ball game.
He didn't even get touched. He found the hole. Great job by the offensive line on the opposite side. He went left before for that big first down. That time he went to the right, found the hole. No one touched him, and he is having a monster first half. Kind of like last week, but I'd say even bigger when you're in the regional final here.
Darling, 6 carries for a $133 last week. He's matched his 2 touchdowns already here in the first half with 2:54 on the clock. Petrich on for the extra point. That one is up and good. And that will give Granite Hills a 21-0 lead with under 3 minutes remaining here in the first half. Stay with us.
Let's hear it for the varsity
All right.
starters. Palo
We are under 3 minutes remaining in the first half of the SoCal Regional 2A Championship game, and it's been all Granite Hills, up 21-0 over Etiwanda. And once again, the pooch kick hits at the 17. The 2 hoppers scooped up inside the 20 down the right sideline and is knocked out of bounds after he crosses the 35.
Usually you would think the southern section, they're probably one of the best in the country, but San Diego's been putting out some great teams the last few years, and they've been getting state championships. You know, Etiwanda's coming from Division 5 in southern section, Granite Hills from Division 2, but San Diego has been representing a lot over the last few years. You know, you have your Cathedral Catholics from Torrey Pines, but then you've had your Modern Days, your Script Ranch, and now Granite Hills is looking to head to the state championship here.
Still a lot of time left. Modern Day with a big win last night, overcoming a 21-0 deficit at the end of 1, beating Downey 22-21 at Downey, and Lincoln with an impressive win, beating Sierra Canyon by 20-plus points.
So it couldn't be done. Modern Day was down 21-0, and they came all the way back. So you can't count out Etiwanda. They have to move the ball here.
Yeah.
You know, this is a drive that they got to at least put some kind of points on the board.
Etiwanda was down 18 to start the 4th. So the junior quarterback, DeMar Davis, knows how to bring his team back. But this Granite Hills team's a little different than what he faced last week in St. Francis. They've been dominant throughout the playoffs, outscoring their opponents 40-12 on the season. This is McDowell off the right side. And another great open field tackle by this Granite Hills defense. They fly to the ball.
Yeah, Davis took over from a team that was 12-1 last year. Zach Congleton for Etiwanda threw for almost 2,200 yards, and it was eclipsed by almost 1,000 yards by Davis. So he's done some great work, and he's really been improving. And they're going to have him back next year. So watch out, baseline division in southern section.
The quick hit near side. and overthrows his intended receiver, Landrum. That ball falls incomplete and brings up a 4th down. Punt team back on for Etiwanda.
He had him. He just kind of overthrew it. He's a little bit excited out there, I would have to say. But you know what? Last week they said at halftime, you know what? Don't forget about the score. Do you relax, and we're going to get it for you. And they had a 43-yard field goal block to win by Michael Harris, and it's the first against St. Francis all season. So they've been doing a fantastic job, and they can come back in this one.
I would say the pressure's one of the reasons why Davis is just a little off his game right now. He's been off target most of this first half, and that's because of the pressure of White and Moshe up front.
I mean, he's just so good. To throw for 3,000 yards at any level, in the high school level, is a fantastic. You know, it's still D5. Baseline has some good schools there, like Ratchakungamunga, and they just played great. Even though were 2-2 in that division, they came out and they won D5 Southern Section. So that is no small feat for any division in the Southern Section. Their D5 teams are D1 teams in most other states and conferences around the country.
Granite Hills, on the defensive side, what they give up in size, they gain in athleticism. And we've seen that here so far in the first half. Granite Hills, Tomasello back on. He'll roll right. They run the flood route. They have a player down the near sideline. Or they had a player down the near sideline. Instead, they threw it over the middle. I thought he was throwing that wheel route to the outside. We have a flag in the secondary. Looks like it will be on Etiwanda.
Wow, I mean, that was up for grabs right there. There's 2 defenders, 2 offensive players. He kind of just
I think that ball was like like it came out of his hands funny.
Yeah. And that sometimes throws off the defenders because they kind of figure it's going to come wide, and the defender cuts.
The timing of it, yeah.
The offensive player cuts in and then into the defender, and they're going to call that pass interference.
Yeah, well, they ran a wheel route on the near side, and the outside receiver going in was held up. He was supposed to be the receiver over the middle. It's Joaquin Thomas Jr., the single side receiver to the right of Tomasello.
Little problem with the chain gang over there. You can see they were asking before the game if anyone wanted to volunteer. If I wasn't working this game, I'd volunteer to be on the chain gang.
Yeah, this is a good game to do that.
Yeah, it's a cool to say.
It'll keep you active, too. It'll definitely get your steps in.
Sure, especially when you're playing with Granite Hills, moving every 12 seconds per play.
1:47 on the clock. The fake handoff has a receiver in the flats. He'll go deep, rolling right. The one-on-one coverage at the 40, and it falls incomplete. Joaquin Thomas in one-on-one coverage with Chauncey Davis, the junior cornerback.
Coach Cobbs is going for it here, up 20-0, and he's going a little away from his game. He wants to go for the Jagger.
Joaquin Thomas Jr., one of the best athletes in San Diego County. So tough to cover one-on-one. They will take their chances with that one.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about him. If you're going on Max Preps, he's listed as cornerback, running back, defensive back, wide receiver, punter. He can pretty much do everything.
So the incomplete pass and the declined penalty will bring up a 2nd and 10 with 1:41. Granite Hills has 1 timeout remaining. Etiwanda still has all 3 of their timeouts. Handoff to Jackson off the left side. He'll pick up a couple. And our first timeout by Etiwanda. So we'll stay here on the NFHS network on a beautiful evening here in El Cajon, California. I'm Bo Fertig alongside my partner Jared Nelson, bringing you today's action here on the NFHS network. We've had some great regional games, and we have some more today. I know Classical Academy also advanced for San Diego. You know, you talk about this Granite Hills team, 2 tough losses against 2 big programs in Poway and Madison, and it seemed like they got over that hump when they beat Helix in quadruple overtime to win the Grossmont Hills League. They beat the Highlanders at Helix 46-44. You know, talking to Coach Cobbs before the game, he said that was kind of the game that really got us over that hump and gave us the confidence moving forward in this playoffs, and that's what we've seen so far in the playoffs, Jared.
Yeah, that game versus Helix is a big-time game every year out here in East County and San Diego. For them to do that is huge. Last time they lost was in September. That was to Madison, 15-12, and they've just gone on a run. They figured out this offense. You have Darling. You have all these good players, and Coach Cobbs has done such a fantastic job and boosted by that big win versus Helix.
One of the toughest things to do when you run a 2-quarterback system and 3-headed monster in the backfield is sharing the love to everyone. And I'd say Coach Cobbs does it about as good as anyone when you have so many mouths to feed. Another wheel route on the near side and well defended by Etiwanda again. The incomplete pass will stop the clock with 1:29.
We're talking all about Davis tonight and how he's kind of been thrown off a little bit. Nico Tomasello is not throwing as well as he usually do. He's usually a little bit more accurate, but he's thrown a lot of balls out of bounds. He's thrown up some for grabs and just got away with a few penalties, but he is not quite as solid either. He may not be coming in with a pedigree as Davis, but some of his throws have not been perfect, but hopefully at halftime he'll get that a little more under control as well for Granite Hills because they do need him because Etiwanda is so dangerous on the offensive side.
Tomasello was a starting quarterback to start the season, but Parlon Sanders had been playing so well of late, they had to implement him in the offense. They play him about a 50-50 split, but as you mentioned, Jared, the pass game not working well for Granite. On the other hand, the run game a little bit better, so we'll see how they adapt in the second half. But Etiwanda has a chance to cut into this 21-point deficit as that ball was fair caught at the 35-yard line by Robert Padilla.
Yeah, they have such firepower. 120 is plenty of time. You know, you look in the NFL like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Davis definitely can do that. He's got such a big arm and such great wide receivers with height that they can get down. If you throw one up, you make a 30, 40-yard play, and they are right in scoring position again.
So far, no big plays from this passing game of Etiwanda. The secondary of Granite Hills has done a great job in slowing them down. They have 6 corners on the field for Granite Hills. Davis looks over the middle. The quick hit at the 45, that's Landrum. Picks up a first down for a gain of 11. Throws a strike to Landrum. He has 3 or 4 receptions on tonight's game. Tarkington, your receiver at the bottom of your screen. Davis looks left, pump fakes, has Tarkington near the first down marker again on the comeback route. And the nice button hook by Tarkington came to the ball, created separation from the corner, and picked up another first down. Etiwanda cruising down the field on 2 plays. Davis rolls right and is intercepted again.
What a great play by the defender. He was there. He kind of stopped. He felt the offensive player going by him. He stopped. And a miscommunication with Davis. He finally had some good plays going. He threw it literally right to the defender's hand. So great play again by the defense. And now 48 seconds coming back the other way. Granite Hills has a shot to put up some more points.
Tyler Black with the interception. This Granite Hills secondary is playing huge today for a quarterback that just threw for 448 last week.
Yeah, and they had an interception called back earlier, so they've been, as I said, they're ball hawks out there, and they're kind of reading the mind of Davis, and they've been on all his throws tonight.
Sanders back in. He'll hand it off. Isaiah Jackson for a short gain. The clock keeps moving. 40 seconds to take. I think Granite Hills is going to be okay going into the first half, up 21.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more if you're Coach Cobb. The defense has shut out this high-powered Etiwanda offense, one of the best in not only Southern California but in the country. So you have to feel pretty excited being up 20-0 as you're running the clock down here.
And it looks like that will do it for first half action here at Granite Hills, as the Granite Hills Eagles up 21-0 over the visiting Etiwanda Eagles here on the NFHS Network. Grab a bite, grab something to drink, because second half you're going to need to be buckled in for high-flying action here on the NFHS Network. And thank you for staying with us. Second half coverage on the NFHS Network. I'm Bo Fertig alongside my partner Jared Nelson, bringing you tonight's action of the SoCal Regional 2A Championship game. It's been all Granite Hills in the first half as they lead Etiwanda 21-0 off the back of 4 turnovers. The one to start the game on a pooch kick recovery, and then 3 interceptions. It could have been 4 But Tyler Black had an interception. Daniel Neto had a pick. And Maddox also with an interception and a nice return. What was your takeaway, Jared, from that first half?
Granite Hills just looks really good. They look like they're the better team. But Etiwanda has such a great offense, and they're going to have to make some adjustments at half. A lot of these teams will usually do that. A good coach will come out there and make some moves. You have such a star in DeMarcius Davis that is one of the best passers for Etiwanda in the whole entire state. So you're going to have to make some moves here. You said it at halftime. They're going to have to come with some big plays on defense, maybe a turnover here or there that leads to getting Davis an extra possession or two. Last week they were down 35-9.5. It's a little bit less than 21-0, but you're playing a different team in Granite Hills than St. Francis out of the southern section, which is a very good team as well. But there's a lot of work to be done for Etiwanda. We'll see. They're out there. They look like they still got energy on the side. They're not hanging their heads or anything, so a lot of time left to play.
St. Francis in the first round of playoffs put up 38, beating Ukaipa 38-7 in the quarters. Against Canyon out of Anaheim, put up 69, beat them by 20. Lusinger had a great win in the semifinals over them, 22-21, and then St. Francis put up 45. But what Granite Hills is doing well is they're applying pressure on the quarterback, and they're only doing it with three-man front. They might bring an extra linebacker or two, but when you're bringing 3 or 4 guys, that means 7 or 8 guys are in coverage, and that's where Davis is having difficulties right now with the pressure.
Well, you have such big names like Jordan Glaze, who has over 100 tackles on the year, as well as Derek Ibarra. They are able to get in the middle of the field, see where the ball is going, and it's allowed for a few interceptions. And there's been just a great few tackles throughout the game. There was a punt return where Glaze got on there and took down the returner for Etiwanda. So Davis is going to have to do some new moves there to get the ball downfield and watch for the interceptions, because this is uncharacteristic for him throwing all these turnovers after throwing for 3,000 yards on the season.
And he also threw for 448 last week. As mentioned earlier in the game, Davis connected on his final 11 passes in the second half. In that second half, he was 18 for 20 for 267. Yep. Well, you talked about the defense. We talked about the versatility and athleticism of Granite Hills. A guy like Jordan Glaze who can play up close to the line and also cover in the secondary. Demarion White, who puts his hand in the ground and gets after the quarterback, will also drop in coverage as well to give you a couple different looks. Derek Ibarra has 8 sacks on the season. He's a disruptor in the backfield. But it's the guys like Easton Peterson, Joaquin Thomas Jr., Nicoy Maddox in that secondary along with Glaze. They can put them anywhere on the field. And it's just one of those nice things to have as a head coach and a defensive coordinator, because when you have those options, you're able to do so much on defense. And it's been difficult for Davis in that first half.
Yeah, Davis also is going to have to get this running game going. You got Jaden Moss, who's got 18 touchdowns in the year. He knows how to find the end zone. So there's still plenty of time that they can use the running game. They don't have to go specifically all the pass. And that's all going to come down here to this first drive here. You're going to need Etiwanda's defense to come up big and get the ball back to Davis. Still only down 21-0 and not any more than this.
If Granite Hills goes down and scores on this drive, it is going to be nearly impossible for Etiwanda to come back down 4 scores. But Etiwanda needs to come up with a big defensive play. We didn't really see that in the first half. Really, other than that missed field goal by Granite Hills, there was not too many miscues by Granite Hills. Let's see if Etiwanda can come back here in the second half, as this ball will be kicked through the end zone, and Granite Hills will start the second half at the 20. Parlon Sanders started the game for Granite Hills. He just looked a little bit better. It looked like he flowed with the rhythm of the offense a little bit better than Tomasello did in that first half, Jared.
Yeah, he definitely did. Handing off to Darling, getting run plays up the middle. Tomasello was throwing a little wide, too, there. We kind of talked about and touched on it before. His passing wasn't quite on, so we'll see what Coach Cobbs has in store here. Maybe get some more passes over the middle and not these long passes trying to pick up 20 yards, maybe 5, 6, 7-yard under routes to get Tomasello going a little bit.
The senior Parlon Sanders will start the second half with sophomore running back Isaiah Jackson. They're going to start it with Joaquin Thomas off the right side, has some room, gets past the 25, and will pick up a nice gain for their first play of the second half. talked about versatility on defense. The offense as well. You know, you have guys like Jackson, Darling, and Turner who can catch the ball in the backfield, and then you have receivers like Joaquin Thomas Jr. who can take a laser or a rocket to the house and a 5-yard hitch as well.
Yeah, there's so many good players. Colin Raleigh, we saw him early. Green,
who had a touchdown grab for 5 yards. Darling had 2 rushing touchdowns. The fake end around pass over the middle to a wide open Joaquin Thomas Jr. And he'll get in for a Granite Hills touchdown. That one measured 72 yards.
Unbelievable, Bo. He just broke free. You're just talking about Thomas Jr. He found the middle of the field, and that was easily just a pitch and catch right there. He didn't have to put it anywhere, and Thomas just ran under it, and no one was even close. What a play. 72 yards, Bo.
Well, what it was that fake end around. It froze the linebackers, and the corners had their eyes in the backfield. They stopped their back pedal, and Joaquin Thomas Jr. kept on moving forward.
They just look so good out there, Granite Hills. Etiwanda is going to have to come up with some big-time plays to stop this momentum, because the momentum has been going since the very first play of the game when they recovered the Pooch onside kick.
Sanders with his second passing touchdown. The first one was a 5-yarder. This one measuring 72 yards. And it's all Granite Hills so far. They needed 45 seconds to score that touchdown, Jared.
Oh, that was a super quick one. Again, Etiwanda was down 35-9 last week, and they were able to come back. So they definitely have it in. You would have counted them out last week too. But this offense has such good firepower that maybe they can figure something out to get through Granite Hills and put some points on the board, because that's what they need to do on this drive. They have to stop this big-time momentum by Granite Hills, and Parlon Sanders with the huge toss to Joaquin Thomas.
At this point, I mean, there's still a lot of time in the game. We're not going to say everything is 4-down territory, but I would say unless they're not in a 4th and long or with their backs up against the goal line, everything is 4-down territory. The ball's loose at the 35, and Etiwanda will fall on it for their first offensive possession.
That was probably the smart move. You don't want to try to pick it up and lose it there. You need to get that offense back on the field with DeMarcius Davis, a guy who's thrown over 3,000 yards on the season. You know, this is a team that can score real quick, and we'll have to see what he can do with some adjustments in the second half.
Davis doesn't use his legs too often. He does have 65 carries on the season, but averages about 3 yards per carry. Comes out in a double-double formation. Granite Hills is going to bring 4. The handoff up the middle to Moss. And Moss gets to the 40 for a 5-yard gain.
Even that's a good play right there. You know, you got to get positive yards. You got to get this offense rolling here. Even a quick 5 yards on first down, that's a start for them.
Tarkington, your single-side receiver at the top of your screen. 3 receivers to the left. Landrum, the closest to Davis. Moss still in the left hip pocket. He'll get the handoff again, up the middle. Spins off a tackle, keeps his feet moving, stays up, gets inside Granite Hills territory. And one of the best runs of the night, Jaden Moss with the big first down run. Jordan Glaze brought down Moss, not before a big first down, and a player down for Etiwanda. Looks like number 60, Max Garcia.
And, Bo, that's what they did last week. They got Moss going. Once Moss got going, that opened up the passing game for Davis. So if you get a few more of these runs, that will be able to open him up and look for his big-time wide receivers out there, Landrum, McDowell, etc. Because if this run game is going, you're going to have your defenders will be back about even half a step. That'll open up for a guy who has an arm like Davis.
And up 28, I think Granite Hills is okay with giving up run plays. At this point, they don't want to give up any big chunk plays that are going to get Etiwanda in quick scoring position. They're going to want Etiwanda to drive down the field, chew off some clock. Even if Etiwanda scores, if it takes them 3, 4, 5 minutes at that, then that's still a win for Granite Hills, up multiple scores.
I was, again, literally thinking the same thing. You know, if they go 5, 6, even 10, 11, 12 yards on a play, that's okay. They're not getting up the big plays that Davis is definitely capable of doing. And before you know it, it's going to be down 3, 2, 1 minute left in the third quarter, and this the clock is going to be against Etiwanda, even with the firepower which they have.
Last week, Granite Hills in the fourth quarter had a running clock. I don't think I had ever seen that in a section division championship game.
Well, they're coming out, so it could happen here. I still think it's pretty doubtful here, especially with how Etiwanda started this drive. You got to hope that the player here, number 60, is okay and can get back up right there. He's probably looks has a cramp or something. Garcia, he's a junior 5'11", so hoping can get up and just have a couple plays off on the sideline and be back out there soon.
It doesn't look good if you're a Max Garcia fan, as he's not able to put a lot of. It looks like he's going to come limping off on one foot, not able to put any pressure on that left foot.
And he set up one of those big blocks on that play.
He did. He did.
So if that's the last time we see him, he went out with a good play that might be the start or something for this Etiwanda offense.
Still a lot of time, only a minute and a half into this second half, but it only took 45 seconds for Granite Hills to score a touchdown. 3 receivers to the left of Davis. On the far side of the field, Landrum closest to Davis. Receiver in motion, the handoff, the fake, and Davis gets to the edge and is knocked out of bounds. Maddox with the big hit near the sideline, and Davis with the gain of no gain.
You definitely don't want to have your big-time star quarterback taking that play. It was more of an option play, and he kind of just got the outside, and he took a huge hit and went down the sideline, but it looks like he's okay. He's a tough kid. So, again, I still think they're trying to set up something with these runs to set up the pass game, which has been so great for them all year.
Landrum, Cherry, and Padilla to the left of Davis. He looks that way. He'll go right in the flats. That's his running back, Moss, and another big hit down the sideline. This time, Granite Hills will get flagged for it. As Moss, it's tough to see from our angle, but assuming Moss was already out of bounds before Granite Hills laid that big hit.
Man, Bo, that was the first time we really got to see Moss in space, and he is so fast. He got right up the sideline. There's a reason that this kid has 18 touchdowns. He put on the Jets, and it looked like he was going to pick up 2 or 3. He picked up about 8 or 9 and picked up the penalty, so that's a huge play right there. And he seems to be okay. He's not hurt or anything, but, man, I would love to see him in open field. Again, that was oh, man, what speed.
Jaden Moss stands at 5'8". He is quick, but Granite Hills, with their athleticism, almost matches Moss's speed.
Oh, without question, they were able to catch him, but he put on the Jets right there.
Tarkington, the single side receiver to the right of Davis. Moss stays into the game to the right hip pocket. Davis will look left, rifles it near side, and pass complete to Robert Padilla.
They put about 4 or 5 great plays here together. Not picking up 15, 20 yards, but they are moving down the field and making it 2nd and 3rd and short. And that's what they probably wanted to be doing the whole game. But if they're going to start doing it, they better start doing it now.
4-yard pickup gets Etiwanda inside the red zone. This is their opening drive in the second half, coming up on 9 minutes remaining in the third. Tarkington now moves from right to left. He's a single side receiver at the bottom of your screen. Davis will hand it off to Moss, and he's brought down by Daniel Neto.
Just a short gain there, but it's still going to make it 3rd and reasonable here. And like you said, it's definitely, they got to know they're going to have 2 downs to go here. Even if they run it again here, you could run it again and make it 4th and 1 or 4th and even shorter.
Etiwanda stays with 3 receivers to the right. Landrum, the inside receiver, as they check at the line. Moss still in the right hip pocket of Davis. Etiwanda still looking for their first score of the game. Yeah, there was movement on the outside. That was on Landrum. Landrum tried to get into his route a little too quickly.
And that's what we can't be giving Granite Hills any yards there, especially when you're driving it into the red zone. They're going to take it out of the red zone here, make it 3rd and a little bit longer. He just was ready to go a little bit too soon on the outside. And 3rd and 8, it looks like.
Landrum will now be the single side receiver at the bottom of your screen. They're going to have a cornerback press and a safety play over the top on Landrum, the 6'4", 215 receiver. Pressure off the edge, pass over the middle, has his receiver. And Kyle Cherry, his first reception of the game, results in an Etiwanda touchdown.
And that's what we've been waiting for the whole game if you're a fan of football, to see Davis throw a great pass. He put so much zip on that, and Cherry was able to get it barely by the tips of his fingers, and the first score, and that's just with the doctored order for the Etiwanda Eagles. Great touchdown.
Cherry with his 4th receiving touchdown on the season. The pressure was coming off the edge. He got rid of it just in time, Jared.
Yeah, he used all that 6'3" frame to get there. Davis found him, and this game is still 28-6 with extra point here. It's a 3-score game. Even with the Eagles, the Granite Hills scoring quick, this was a fantastic answer by Etiwanda.
Davis to Cherry. Lodovico on for the extra point. Snap is good, hold is good, and the extra point is good. Etiwanda gets on the board, cuts the deficit to 21 with 7:58 remaining in the third. Stay with us. Still a lot more action here on the NFHS Network. And it only took till the second half for Etiwanda to get on the board, but they do it in fashion that they're used to, as Davis to Cherry for the 8-yard touchdown. We mentioned Davis last week in the second half, 18 of 20 for 267. Came back from a 26-point deficit. They are down 21. They were down 28, their largest deficit, but now down 21. But they're going to need to stop this high-flying attack of Granite Hills.
28-7 looks a lot better than 28-0. That rushing attack there kind of opened up for Davis to find his wide receiver. Also a big penalty there, the late hit on the defense that got them a little bit closer into the red zone.
This ball inside the 5. Returner's going to bring it near side. Side steps and is brought down by Devin Hartsuck.
First and 10, Granite Hills at their own 24-yard line.
Tomasello will come back on for the second offensive possession for Granite Hills. You know, it just seems like the offense has been working so well with Sanders. Why would you switch it up? But Coach Cobbs has been working this offense since the beginning of the season. That's just what they've done.
I would say he knows better than us, but you're exactly right. We'll see what Tomasello has in store.
The split back set. Isaiah Jackson will get the handoff. Tries to cut it back, but is tackled in the backfield for a loss of 1.
Yeah, they're definitely rotating a lot of players through here all game. You got Zach Darlin running hard. But you know what? He needs a break. You got to let the other guys get in. And we talk about it at the end of every game. You guys got guys in championship games scoring.
Well, they're fresh, too. Yeah. You know, that's the other nice thing is when you're getting limited touches, you keep with the fresh legs. Tomasello rolls right. One-on-one coverage. Is that brought in down the sideline? No, it's not. Xander brought it in, but was unable to get it foot in bounds.
Yeah, Tomasello's been going to the right all night, and he hasn't completed anything. They just got a first down on a play, but that seems to not be working there. Every single time he's throwing to the right. He hasn't thrown anything in the middle or even really to the left. He's just looking for the receiver on the right, and that has not been doing. And that's not running the clock either. That stops it there. You got to get as much time off here as you can, not let Etiwanda get going.
Joaquin Thomas Jr. checks in. Maxwell Turner is your single back to the right of Tomasello. 2 receivers to the left, to the right. Etiwanda will rush 4. Tomasello with time throws it to the near sideline. Xander picks up the first down, keeps his feet moving for an extra 5 or 6.
Tomasello there, see, he didn't go deep. He got his man before the first down marker, and he let him do his thing, and he was able to pick up the first down.
Tomasello planted that back foot and let it rip, the beautiful spiral. Green cuts it up middle and will get near the first down marker. Looks like he picks up 10 for another Granite Hills first down. So Granite Hills moving the ball in the air and on the ground on this drive.
Yeah, the short plays have definitely been working better, and they've been able to pick up the yards after catch, yards after run that have been so huge for Granite Hills tonight.
Turner off the right side, bounces it near side, and will pick up another first down and more. Gets inside the 35. Call it 14. And Granite Hills looking to keep the tempo up, picking up gains of 10, 10, and 14.
Yeah, they're still running this run of play every 12 seconds, so they're not stopping, not run the clock. They want to keep pour it on here.
Xander now in motion. They'll hand it off to him off the left side. Has some space on the edge. And Etiwanda rallies to the ball, but not before another nice gain of 4 or 5.
The yards even after, maybe not yards after contact, but the yards after first move have been so good. They make a cut here, make a cut there, find the hole. They're picking up 2, 3, 4 extra yards in every play, which has been huge to make it second or third and short.
5:40 and counting here in the third quarter. Granite Hills moving the ball with ease. This is their second offensive possession. Their first offensive possession in the second half ended in a 72-yard touchdown. This is Darling to the edge. Has one guy to beat and is knocked out of bounds by Davis near the 10. So we talked about fresh legs. Darling looked good right there. Explosive, gets to the outside, and another big first down on the ground.
Yeah, that's been a theme for Darling. He's able to get outside and pick up big chunks of plays because this offensive line's been blocking so great, and Etiwanda has no response for it.
3 receivers to the left of Tomasello. Xander in motion. We have flags at the snap. It's either offsides or illegal formation. And it looks like it's going to be illegal formation the way Granite Hills is reacting.
That could be just what the doctor ordered for Etiwanda. You know, he had the easy play, and they might have just let him go through there.
Yeah,
they're going to push him back to first.
Legal formation.
The crowd does not like that, though.
Well, yeah, as they shouldn't.
Not much that they haven't liked tonight.
There's definitely been a lot to like for this Granite Hills team on both the offensive and defensive side. Turner to the right, Jackson to the left. Jackson will get it off the right side, and he'll be knocked out of bounds by Michael Harrison, who had that late blocked field goal for Etiwanda, allowing them to advance to this game, now under 5 minutes and counting for Granite Hills. Jackson stays in, Turner stays in. Jackson to the left, Turner to the right. 3 receivers to the left. Turner will get it, he'll go left. Gets by his first defender, but not before a holding call. A great job right there by Matthew Mercado, getting upfield, beating the guy who was blocking him across his face, excuse me. And the offensive lineman couldn't do nothing but grab a hold on to the jersey to slow him down. He had that play blown up in the backfield.
2 big penalties here for the Granite Hills Eagles. They were driving. They were almost at goal to go, and now they're going to be...
The only thing that slowed them down on offense is the penalties.
Yeah.
It has not been the Etiwanda defense. That is for sure.
So second and 23, it looks like. They got pushed way
The
back.
ball lies at the 30. The first down marker is at the 3. Second and 27. Isaiah Jackson has a lane, and he will not be caught. Touchdown, Granite Hills.
Bring him back, and this athleticism of this team, wow. He got free, he broke through the hole, and Isaiah Jackson scores another touchdown in this playoffs. He got on the board for Granite Hills. What a fantastic run, and that is a big-time dagger right there by the Eagles of Granite Hill.
Jackson goes in untouched, splitting 3 defenders. And Granite Hills doing it however they like, whether it be in the air, whether it be on the run or on the ground. And that one measuring 30 yards for the score. The extra point is blocked, but Granite Hills extends the lead 34-7 over Etiwanda with 4:26 remaining in the third.
Yeah, Bo, right there. It was second and 23. You can still hand the ball off, and you can score at any time. They didn't have to pass the ball. It was such a long play being brought back. Found the hole, was able to get to the secondary, and the secondary has been not able to catch any of these running backs or receivers.
Well, it's like they almost catch a break, too. It's like, all right, cool, we move them back. It's second and forever, and Jackson has a seam and just takes it to the house.
Yeah, their athleticism is unmatched. There's very few teams in San Diego that can match them, like maybe a Lincoln or a Carlsbad. But since Granite Hills has figured this out and on the 7-game win streak, I don't think anyone is beating them big time here. There's going to be a close game throughout the state here and in San Diego for Granite Hills the rest of the way.
The winner of this one will play the winner of the Northern Region matchup. As this ball is brought in by Padilla, crosses the 35, crosses the 40, gets close to midfield, and will be brought out of bounds at the 43. So the winner of this one will play the winner of the Northern California Regionals between San Ramon Valley and Marin Catholic. They're currently playing right now as well. This is the 2A SoCal Regional Championship game. 4:17 on the clock in the third, and it's been all Granite Hills. Offensively and defensively, they have impressed here tonight. Etiwanda down 27. Davis threw for 448, a career high last week. Can he replicate that? And he skips that one to Landrum as that pass falls incomplete. And currently in the third quarter with 5 minutes to go, Marin Catholic 14-3 over San Ramon Valley. 14-13, excuse me.
Those are two big-time teams coming out from the northern section. Marin Catholic is 13-0. San Ramon Valley is 11-2.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So whoever comes out of this game, Granite Hills or if Etiwanda can make a good comeback. They're playing some of the toughest teams coming from up north.
That incomplete pass brings up a 2nd and 10. 3 receivers to the left of Davis. Davis will hand this ball up the gut to Moss. His biggest run of the night. Call it 12. And a nice open field tackle by Nicoy Maddox, who has an interception.
Yeah, Bo, in this second half, Moss is really getting it going. You would have hoped he got it going the first or second, but he's getting it done here, and they have to score on this drive.
And Granite Hills gets caught with too many guys on the field. Moss on the short gain. They'll most likely decline, or they won't go with the play. They'll accept the penalty, bringing up a 1st and 5. Moshi was trying to come on for White. White is more of a pass rusher. Moshi plugs the holes up front.
I feel like Moshi's one of your favorite players out there.
He is fun to watch. When you're that big and that athletic, it's like, how can you not love that guy? And he plays with so much passion. It's fun to watch.
Granite Hills is playing a lot of passion. Etiwanda, too. You know, there's Moss is out there pumped up. He's got those engines rolling, and he's trying his darndest to get this quarterback and this team back in the end zone.
And they accept the 5-yard penalty, bringing up a 1st and 5. 3:46 on the clock here in the third. This is Etiwanda's second offensive possession here in the second half. They scored on their first. Davis to Cherry for the 8-yard connection. Yes, there is confusion on the field.
Well, it was 1st and 5, so it should be 1st and 5, not 1st and 8.
Or 1st and 2.
Yeah, 1st and 2, because look, you can see across the way the first down.
So what they did was they took the 3-yard run and added 5 yards. That run should not have counted.
Good eyes on that by Coach Cobb. It is a new chain gang down there. You know, they got volunteered right before the game.
So it's 1st and 5.
So the first down marker sits at the 35. The ball lies on the 40. First down marker, or the original line of scrimmage is the 45, so it makes sense that it would go to the 40. And we resume play here on the NFHS network.
Still have smoke on the field from the fireworks there.
3 receivers to the left of Davis. This ball rolled back, and Davis just jumps on it. First bad snap we've seen all day by either side. Davis intelligently just jumps on that one. Doesn't compound a bad play.
Yeah, and they got gifted 5 yards, and they get it right back the opposite way.
Yeah, they go back 10. Move forward 5, go back 10. Bringing up a 2nd and 15 at midfield. Davis still with 3 receivers to his right. He goes to the single side receiver. That's Tarkington. Slips a tackle. Gets inside the 40. He's still on his feet. A block in front, and he gets inside the 20.
Well, he's got to let his players make play. You got a pass right at the line of scrimmage, and he was able to break it free for a huge gain. They really got to go. Etiwanda, the clock is against them now. They really have to keep going here, and that was a big-time play.
That was their most explosive play in the air. Just come out with the same formation. The handoff to McDowell as he is brought down for no gain once again. That front line not allowing anything up front for Granite Hills. Demarion White again. He comes up limping, and we do have another Granite Hills player on the field. They'll take a look at him, and we'll take a break here. Catch us on the other side here on the NFHS Network. Thank you for staying with us here on the NFHS Network. Granite 34, Etiwanda 7. Etiwanda driving. This is their second offensive possession. Granite Hills players still on the ground, being tended to, and it looks like he'll get up. Daniel Neto, who has an interception in that first half that led to a touchdown for Granite Hills. Looks like he'll be okay. He's just a bit shaken up. If anything, it gave Demarion Wright more time to catch his breath and get healthy as he came limping off as well. 2nd and 9. This is definitely 4-down territory for Etiwanda. 2:30 and counting. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. McDowell out of the backfield. He looks that way. Throw over the middle. Connects with his receiver near the first down marker. And it looks like he picked up 9 and just enough for an Etiwanda first down.
Man, his throws are just so crisp. I wish we could see some more. There's still a quarter and a little bit more to go, but his throws are he's so tall, he can just kind of throw it down to his wide receivers. Nice catch there.
Ball lies at the 9, 1st and goal. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. McDowell out of the backfield. McDowell will get the handoff. Gets by the first line of defense, gets inside the 5, and will be brought down near the 2.
He took a big hit right there. The defense came right in, and they knocked him down before he got in the end zone. But that was a huge hit. They've been taking a lot of those tonight.
Are they going to hand it off to McDowell again? Yes, they will. This time, Demarion Wright first to the ball and the tackle for loss.
He got blown up again in the backfield. A lot of those there tonight. And we're going to see if Etiwanda is going to throw the ball or going to hand it off again.
No, after that play, they will definitely be passing the ball right here, coming up on a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter.
They're still taking a lot of time. They need to get into the Granite Hills where they're taking about 12 seconds for each play because they're running the clock down really far here, just trying to find out what play they're going to get.
White has been impressive on the defensive side these past 2 games, whether it's getting after the quarterback or the tackle for losses. He's a disruptor in the backfield. Granite looking to bring pressure up the middle. They bring 6. The quick pass falls short after being tipped at the line of scrimmage. White might have got a hand on that again.
It sounds like he's making his presence known here on this drive as well as other drives previously, but this has been his
But this
drive.
one is specifically right.
It's a different guy each drive. On offense, defense, they've had so many stars on this team that Etiwanda is just not able to figure them out quite as easily as they would hope.
And such an intelligent play, knowing they were bringing 6, knowing Davis was going to have to get rid of the ball quickly. White didn't get the greatest jump off the snap, got his hands up. 3 receivers to the right, looks over the middle and gets his receiver, Landrum, for their first touchdown of the night.
Oh, that was just so smooth. No, they didn't get the pressure quad that they wanted is there, and he had a few seconds to throw, and it was easy pitch and catch right there to the end zone. And Etiwanda scored on 2 straight drives, finally making their presence felt on offense here with one of the best players and quarterback in the section, DeMarcius Davis.
Might be a little too late for Etiwanda as Lodovico comes in for the extra point. And the extra point is good, cutting the deficit back to 20.
All these extra points are going to be coming up so huge. Granite Hills did miss the other one. So now it's just 20 points, 3 touchdowns. If the Etiwanda defense can somehow get one more stop, we can hear the coaches in the box saying, let's get another stop here and make this a game. Because if Granite Hills scores, then I'm going to totally agree that's going to be a little too much too late. But Etiwanda's capable of a stop and maybe an onside kick
Well,
here.
they need a turnover. They got back in that game last week off of multiple turnovers and converting those turnovers into points. Tonight, the Eagles, I wouldn't necessarily say flawless, but they've been about as good as it gets on the offensive end.
There hasn't been too many drives where we haven't liked what we've seen if you're a Granite Hills fan.
Green and Darling back to receive for Granite Hills. Ludovico can get the ball in the end zone. He'll kick it hard and low as it one bounces in the end zone, and Granite Hills will start their third offensive possession at the 20. Third offensive possession in the second half, that is, at the 20.
Well, what are you looking for them to do? Are you looking for
Oh, we're running the ball, baby.
Sanders in there, Tomasello, maybe some play action?
Well, they've been going back and forth with Tomasello and Sanders. So Tomasello was in on that last drive. I would say Sanders on this one. And it looks like Sanders trots on for the offense, along with Max Turner. Etiwanda, big need of a turnover or a 3 and out for this defense.
Yeah, 3 and out, because Granite Hills is running the plays quick and not taking up too much time.
There's Joaquin Thomas Jr. again off the right side, and the open field tackle by Wash knocks him out of bounds, but not before another nice gain of 6 or 7. I mean, even if it's not a big play, it's still, 5, 6, 7 yards. Granite Hills, as mentioned last week, 32 carries for 361 rushing yards. They average 11 yards per carry. On the season, they average 7 yards per carry. So, impressive ground game. Turner again, this time off the left side. And you talk about the good running game of Etiwanda. Really, to put it in perspective, Etiwanda averages 4 yards per carry. That's almost half of what Granite averages on the ground. And the third down, exactly what Etiwanda wanted. Looks like we have the end of the third quarter. A big third down on the other side of this break. Make sure you stay with us here on the NFHS Network. And it's the start of the fourth quarter. Let's catch you up on the scoring. If you're just tuning in, Zach Darling of Granite Hills started the scoring with a 28-yard touchdown run. Then Colin Riley on the next possession caught a 5-yard touchdown grab from Parlon Sanders to go up 14-0. Then it was Darling again, this time from 30 yards out, going up 21-0. And finally, it was, Parlon Sanders actually scored the fourth touchdown as well. And it was finally Davis to Cherry, 28-7, and then Davis to Landrum, 34-14. Jackson also had a 30-yard touchdown run. That's where we stand here today. And Sanders will keeps his feet moving. And Parlon Sanders is so explosive with the ball in his hands, and it seems like we could almost say that about every ball handler on this Granite Hills offense.
Yeah, he's not a big guy. 5'10", 153 is what they have him listed. It might be a little bit more than that, but he's just sneaking and was able to get under. You'd think one of these big guys could get him, but they just couldn't stop him, and they're going to be able to run a lot more clock out here.
Reminds me of Kyler Murray, the Arizona quarterback, off the right side. This is Jackson. And that offensive line continues to push that pile forward.
That was just a little up the middle, and they're pushing them forward. So 2nd and 1, they're just getting big chunk plays like you've been saying here all day.
And it looks like San Ramon Valley just took the lead over Marin Catholic in the third quarter. The winner of that game will play the winner of this one. The split back set. Sanders will keep himself off a pump fake. Gets across midfield. Has blockers in front inside the 40. And is ran out of bounds, but not before a big Granite Hills first down.
He's just so fast all right there that Etiwanda couldn't capture him. That was Simmons, the defensive end, the 6-foot senior, 5 sacks senior. He just could not quite catch up to Sanders. and he was able to break it for another big gain.
Dejournette Simmons has been quiet tonight. He leads the team in sacks, but hasn't been able to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback because his running game has been so effective for Granite Hills. Turner off the left side and has ran out of bounds. Looks like he's knocked out at the 30, picking up a short gain.
Positive yardage there, but it's stop the clock, which is not necessarily what you want to do, but it's still a decent game. That looks like 2nd and 7. They're giving us an answer there on that one.
Darling now to the right hip pocket of Sanders. Receiver in motion. They'll fake it to him and hand it off to Darling. He'll get towards the 25, bringing up a 3rd and short.
Man, if they would have handed that to, looked like Xander down there, who was coming around, number 11.
He had some space on the edge, huh?
He had a little bit of space there for sure.
Joaquin Thomas one-on-one at the bottom of your screen, the single-side receiver. He'll go in motion. They'll fake it to him. Sanders with a nice lane and falls forward inside the 20 for another Granite Hills first down. So 2 big 3rd down conversions off the legs of Sanders.
I mean, you just look at it. We talked about it like an NFL comparison. Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. You could throw the ball and you can run it and pick up big-time first downs to run this clock down.
Coming out in the same formation. Now a receiver in motion. He'll get it. This is Riley off the left side. Gets by the first defender and is wrestled down near the 5.
Right around the Etiwanda 4-yard line. That's good enough for Eagles.
And another first down for the Eagles.
They're just able to get yards at will here, to the left, to the right, with a wide receiver, with the quarterback, with a running back. So it's just been
Once
really
again,
tough. Yeah.
up front, the bigs, Roddy Williams, Ethan Warner, center Nick Morocquin, Eric Delgado, the only senior, 6'6", 315, and Jackson will walk in for another Granite Hills touchdown off the right side. Delgado, Collins, and Tejeda with the blocks.
Well, that was a thing of beauty there. That play fake had them totally faked out. Finn upstairs, a cameraman, Finn Pranabas, he was able to see that. He knew it. But I think everyone else in the stadium didn't see it. They thought the ball was going to the middle, and it was right up to the right side for Jackson. What a nice blocking and play fake there by Harlan Sanders.
Jackson now with his 2nd rushing touchdown on the night. Parlon Sanders has a rushing touchdown. Darling has 2 rushing touchdowns. So it's been another impressive performance on the ground from Granite Hills. They had, we mentioned, 361 rushing yards last week. I would say they're coming up around that 300-yard mark just by the points they're putting up and driving down the field.
In the first half, they definitely probably had close to 200. Now in this half, it's getting pretty close. We'll have to.
I don't think we've seen as many long runs.
Nope.
Last week it seemed like there was about 3 or 4 runs that eclipsed 30, 40 yards. Today, not so much, but they're, as you mentioned, Jared, they're picking up chunks of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards, even when they're not getting those big plays on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, we had the 2nd and 23, and they got that one in, but that was one of the bigger ones they've had all game. Otherwise, they use a play fake in at the 1st, 2nd and goal, and they're able to put it in for the easy score.
And we mentioned the inability to get to the quarterback by Etiwanda, and that's just because when you have a good running game like the Eagles, it really does neutralize a good pass rush. And we have an offsides on Granite Hills. The only thing we could talk about Granite Hills as far as cleaning up is the penalties. That's one thing that has definitely held them back. A touchdown was called back. An interception was taken away. A couple big 4th down and 3rd down stops were taken away by penalties. So that's something Coach Cobbs is going to need to clean up. But, I mean, 41-14, how can you complain, right?
Versus Southern Section champion team, nonetheless, who Etiwanda's had a great season. They've been on fire lately. So I think they'll talk about the penalties, but the coaching staff's going to pump these guys up and how good a game they've been having so far.
There's no doubt about that. They've dominated in this one like they did throughout all the playoffs. When you talk about playoffs, beat number 8 La Jolla 56-25, beat number 5 Mira Mesa 45-8. Then the championship game won 48-12. Running clock in the 4th. And this one coming up close to that. This is Padilla on the return, crosses the 30, and that's where
Tackle by number 42, Rowan
Etiwanda will start their next offensive possession.
Be first and 10, Etiwanda at their own
So in this position,
33-yard line.
Granite's just going to be okay giving up a couple first downs, not allowing any big chunk plays.
Yeah, Etiwanda definitely is going to have to speed it up. The last couple drives, they did score, but they were going not quite at the pace they need to get back in this. They, again, still have the firepower to get it done, but they're
At this point, they're just trying to save face. They're just not trying to get blown out in the SoCal regionals.
They're going to have to put some points. I mean, you work this in. You have DeMarcius Davis is going to be back next year, so you got to get him that experience to maybe come back next year and challenge at this again.
Landrum in motion, comes to the near side. They'll look his way. Pass over the middle.
Pass intended for number 15, Kyle Cherry.
And just off target
On
of Cherry.
the coverage, number
He's just been a little off tonight. A guy who's thrown over 3,000. He hasn't been quite hitting his guys. But you know what? You got to give a lot of that credit to Granite Hills.
Yeah, their front has definitely applied pressure while only bringing 3 or 4 bodies, allowing 7 or 8 to stay in coverage. And when you can apply pressure with only 3 or 4 guys up front, that's, I don't care who you are behind snap, that is a tough night ahead of you.
Yeah, Davis, you know what? He's got to keep plugging on, and he'll be back next year. Hopefully learn from this game, because they scored 2 in a row in the last 2 drives.
And Jordan Glaze off the edge. We talked about him, great, how good he is in coverage, and he comes up to the line like a Troy Polamalu and tackles the running back for no gain.
I've met Troy Polamalu a few times. Not the biggest guy height-wise, but he's just so strong. You know, these guys that are 5'10", 5'9", but they're just so strong.
Athletic
Yo,
and strong. And
get ya.
that's something, those are a couple characteristics of Granite Hills.
running for no gain.
They're still taking a little bit of time here. They're not.
Yeah, I think they're with the understanding that this game is just about over, but we need to continue to play.
Davis back to throw.
Granite Hills brings 3 over the middle to Cherry
Tackle by number 21,
near the first down marker.
That's gonna be
And it looks like Cherry will pick up 11 on the reception, but not before taking another big hit by Granite Hills. Granite Hills will make you earn every yard on offense.
Oh, they absolutely will. And you know what?
And Cherry's down
He's took
after
a
the big hit.
We talked about this last week. You know what? You're getting some of these guys in here. They can make a big play if they can get a touchdown, even a touch. They can talk about in 20, 30 years that, hey, to their grandkids, they were in a regional championship game in one of the biggest games of the season in all of California. So you can do that. So they're going to keep on chugging along, see if they can get another touchdown and get some more points on the board and get these guys some more experience.
When you talk about the defensive side of Granite Hills, up front, they're applying pressure and not allowing any big lanes in the run game. In the middle, that linebacking core, sideline to sideline, great in coverage. Neto, the middle linebacker, already has an interception, and they're plugging holes as well, coming off the edge. And in the secondary, there's points where they're running, a 3-2-6, a 3-3-5. They're bringing in that nickel secondary, which a lot of people think you could run on, but they come up and tackle with the best of them. We talked about Glaze. We talked about other guys coming up and making big tackles in the secondary. Easton Peterson, Davion Green, Joaquin Thomas Jr.
Put our hands together for
A lot of these guys could go both ways as well just because they're so athletic and their football IQ is high. And it looks like Marin Catholic, so back-to-back field goals as Marin Catholic regains the lead 17-16. Looks about 4 minutes to go in that one. So that is your NorCal Regional Championship game. The winner of this one will play the winner of that. Marin Catholic 13-0, and San Ramon Valley 11-2. That's where Granite Hill schedule lays at 11-2, and this pass is almost intercepted by Wright. We talked about the ability of Wright to get his hand in the ground and get after the quarterback, but we also talked about the versatility, and you saw that on hand right there. The pressure off the edge, Demarion drops in coverage and almost came up with the pick.
I think he was just so surprised that the ball was kind of in his hands there. He wasn't even quite looking at it. And It's just they're making fun of him right there. He said you got to get that interception. But Granite Hills has got to take a lot away from this. You're going to be playing either a really tough Marine Catholic or San Ramon school, so you're going to have to come out with the same energy that put up 41 points versus a really, really good Etiwanda team. So coming in next week, you got a lot of work to do, and they got to keep up with this here to represent San Diego.
Second and 10, Granite Hills brings 4. And right from behind brings down Davis.
And that's the guy you've been talking about here, White. Huge on this drive, huge on the last few drives. Just making his presence.
He is. He is. And we mentioned it, whether it's in the run game or the pass game, Demarion Wright in coverage as well as disrupting the run game and the pass game with putting pressure in the backfield. Applies a lot of pressure. His just athleticism. We've seen times too this season where Wright will get in the backfield and he's so athletic and just knows the game so well. If he sees a running back in a awkward situation, he'll go after the ball, and he's had multiple forced fumbles like that throughout the season. 3 receivers to the left of Davis. He'll look that way. The screen pass over the middle to McDowell. McDowell will get near midfield to bring up a manageable 4th down. Coming up on 7 minutes and counting. This is the first time Granite Hills has made it to this point of the season. They won their first ever section title in the school's 60-year history. This school opened back in 1960. So Coach Cobbs is an alum of 2005. They have 14 coaches on this staff going from the freshman level up to the varsity level that was once a student here on Granite Hills. So a lot of pride being taken on this team. Granite Hills only brings 4. The quick hit to Padilla. Padilla will bring it in at the 45 and enough for a first down for Etiwanda.
On that previous play, I wanted to say that Etiwanda caught the ball in space, and they had some blockers, but Granite Hill was still able to get the tackle before a big game. That's all they've been getting, besides a few big plays. The little ones, 4, 5, 6 yards, because the defense has been really, really good at finding the ball and getting down the runner, even with blockers in front.
Moshi checks back in. Granite Hills in a 3-2-6 defense. 3 receivers to the left of Davis. Granite brings 4. The quick hit near the 40 connects with his receiver. That's Jalen Martin at the 40. Picks up a gain of 5. Marion Wright again comes up a little shaken. You know, if you're an Etiwanda fan, you would like to see them stretch the field, but because of the pressure by Granite Hills, Davis just doesn't have a lot of time.
He has not had time all night. He's pretty mobile, but he's not as mobile as a Parlin Sanders, so you don't know if he's going to run it or pass it here. But he just hasn't had the time to find his players and set his set offense that he's been so good at all season.
Yeah, Granite Hills has done a really good job of keeping him inside the pocket. Davis looks right, gets off his first read, comes to his second, and that pass falls incomplete, intended for Landrum. Stops the clock at 5:03, remaining in regulation. Etiwanda with their first section title since 1990. 5th-year head coach Baez. They started the season 0-2. Talked about the process and improvement, and throughout the season, quarterback DeMar Davis and company have done just that. 3 receivers to the right of Davis on a 3rd and 5. Davis looks to the top of your screen. Hits the out route to Tarkington. Did he bring it in before he went out of bounds? No, he did not. Incomplete pass brings up a 4th and 5.
Those are just plays that usually are making all season. He was pretty wide open, and he just hit him kind of in the hands, and he wasn't able to bring it down, sliding outside. But throughout this season, those are the plays that they've been making. They're just not coming through tonight.
.458. This could do it for Etiwanda if they can't convert on this 4th down. 4th and 5. Davis looks over the middle, has his receiver at the 30. Tarkington brings it in for a Etiwanda first down.
They're still fighting these kids. You know, that's a well-coached team. If they're not giving up and they're still trying to score. And then they're speeding up a little bit here, but definitely a well-coached team if these kids are not giving up.
3 receivers remain to the right of Davis. He'll look that way over the middle, steps up in the pocket, rolls right, and is knocked down in the backfield. Another big hit by this Granite Hills defense. Jordan Glaze leading the pursuit for Granite.
Davis is so big he can take those hits, but you don't want to be having these at the end of the game like that. You got to maybe just throw it away or slide because he took a big one there for sure.
We've seen Glaze rush the quarterback. We've seen him in coverage, and we've seen it in pursuit. And he's one of the reasons why he leads the team with more than 100 tackles on the season. 2 receivers to the left of Davis. He'll look that way with the quick hit in the flats. That's McDowell. Gets by the first couple defenders, but is wrestled down before he can get to the 20.
6 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd down and about 4. We got an injury timeout on the field.
We have another injury on the field. While they attend to him, we'll take a quick break here on the NFHS Network. And as the Etiwanda player gets to his feet, 3:33 remaining in this game, and it's been all Granite Hills. On defense, they have 4 turnovers. On offense, they have 6 touchdowns, 4 rushing, 2 passing, after having 6 rushing touchdowns last week against Ramona. They put up 48 last week. They're in the 40s here this week. It's kind of been the magic number, as Etiwanda won last week, 45-42. This is McDowell again as Davis dumps it to him. And another great open field tackle. Granite Hills making you earn every yard. Joaquin Thomas leads with the hit, bringing up a 4th and short. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining. Granite Hills is going to advance to the state finals in 2A.
It's just been with a fantastic fashion too there, Bo. Great win.
Impressive on both sides of the ball. Davis will hand it off to Moss up the middle. Crosses the 20, and he'll pick up 3. He needed 1 for Etiwanda first down. You know, we've done 2 games for Granite back-to-back weeks, and just really don't see any weaknesses in this team. Maybe they might be just a little too small in the middle at the linebacker position as this pass goes through the hands of Cherry. You know, you talked about their linebackers. They're fast, they're athletic, but they're about 180, 190 max. And against a team that really likes to pound the rock, that might create difficulties for Granite. But against a team like this, against Etiwanda, who likes to pass the ball, their athleticism is definitely showing well here tonight.
Yeah, just another one right there that Etiwanda usually has here. It was off the hands up the middle. That could have been a touchdown, but they're unable to get that across.
2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right of Davis. Granite brings 3. Davis to the end zone. And that ball is caught inside the 5. A beautiful pitch and catch from Davis to Landrum. It looked like Granite Hills got there. That was on the far side of the field. But the defender couldn't get there in time.
He just put it on his back shoulder, the only place that the ball could be caught, and a nice play there.
This will most likely be a run. And Davis keeps it. And he gets in for an Etiwanda touchdown.
They're not going down without a swing in here. Getting this a little bit closer. Nice play by DeMar Davis there. Touchdown.
So Davis in the second half, 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. Not as good as last week's performance of 280 passing yards, going 18 for 20. But they just really dug themselves too big of a hole in this one, Jared.
Yeah, they've played him even in this. Actually, going to be ahead if they get this extra point. Played him ahead in the second half, but yeah, too far behind, 21-0.
Man, it's good.
Yeah, they were down 21 at the half, and now they're down 20 with 2:02. We'll stay here on the NFHS network.
I'm okay with that. We can chat with us. It's been a really great night for football. Two teams on big streaks. One is going to continue their streak to go and play either Marin Catholic or San Ramon Valley. That game's 4 minutes to go still. 17-16, Marin Catholic 13-0. They lead that. They're 5-0 in the Marin County League as well, but they're one of the better teams in the state. They're ranked 64, so Granite Hill is still ahead of them in the state rankings, but Marin Catholic or San Ramon Valley bring a huge test for this Granite Hills team coming up.
Well, we talked about the athleticism of Granite Hills, but they also have the size as well up front to be able to contend against bigger teams from the north. It looks like we have an offsides before the onside kick.
Yeah, you hear a lot of people down here have heard of Marin Catholic, and if they can hold on, that'd be a huge matchup. But San Ramon Valley is only down 1. Plenty of time there. That is not as high scoring of a game that we have here with under 2 minutes to go.
5-yard penalty against Etiwanda.
The winner of this game will play at Saddleback College next Saturday at noon. Saddleback College about an hour and a half north from San Diego. Etiwanda took about 2.5 hours to get here to El Cajon. Beautiful night for football. The onside kick again, brought in cleanly at the 45. And Tyler Black, who had an interception in that first half, brings it in for Granite Hills.
Yeah, they had the hands team out there. It's going to be really hard to spin that through one of those guys and maybe come up with a miracle. But great hands team play right there to get the ball back for Granite Hills.
2 minutes remaining. Let's talk MVP. I think this game's about over. Pick your point. Zach Darling, 2 rushing touchdowns. Isaiah Jackson, 2 rushing touchdowns. Parlon Sanders with 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. And you talked about the defense. 3 interceptions on the night.
And what about the offensive line? You can give it to the whole offensive line.
Yeah, the way Granite Hills has been running the ball the past few weeks, it almost seems more like the system than it does the individual player because they're so big and everyone is so – it's not just one player that has had success on the offensive side. It's a handful of players, which kind of shows you it's the system that they're playing in that's really benefiting these players.
Well, you got, as you said, 14 coaches that have come through the system here at Granite Hills, and you kind of get to know what works, and you kind of – a lot of these guys know each other so they can implement something that works well for each of these players.
Granite Hills will just run this clock out. This is Turner at the 40. I don't think Etiwanda is going to call any timeouts. They have a few remaining.
Whistle it dead after about a 3-yard pickup. To bring up 3rd down and 3 for the Eagles.
They can almost run the whole clock. I think they can if they down it here. It'll.
They just need one more first down.
Yeah, one more first down.
Granite Hills averages 40 points per game. They're at 41, and they allow a dozen on the season. Today they've allowed 21, all coming in the second half, but it really was that huge first half effort to give them that lead. And now we've had 3 field goals back to back to back.
San Ramon Valley.
San Ramon Valley, there it is. Yeah, they regained the lead 19-7, so they regained the lead 16-14. Then Marin Catholic went up 17-16. And now San Ramon Valley up by a deuce, 19-17. Wow, that's an exciting game.
With under a minute to go there.
And that will do it here from Granite Hills High School as the Granite Hills Eagles are crowned your SoCal 2A regional champions.
It was a really fun game to watch there. Etiwanda didn't get out to what they wanted to do with such a good offense. Granite Hill's defense was great. They ball hawk. They have such good players all around, and they were able to kind of win this comfortably. 20 points seems a little bit closer because Granite Hills had this in control, and they were kind of able to run the clock down. But all facets of the game, besides maybe a couple of penalties, they really controlled. And they're moving on to the States. Another San Diego team is getting through and beating a lot of these Southern Section, Los Angeles, Orange County teams, and really making a name for themselves here down in San Diego.
San Diego teams are now 4-2. Lincoln, Mater Dei, Granite Hills, and Classical Academy will all advance to the state finals and represent the San Diego section. Good luck to all those as they will be playing at Saddleback College next Friday and Saturday. For my partner Jared Nelson and our cameraman Finn up top, I'm Bo Furtick. Thank you for tuning in, and until next weekend, good night, everyone.